Howdy ho, everybody. How is your Thursday going? I'm just going to get this up on my phone so I can follow along. So, today is Thursday. It's an amazing, beautiful, sunny day. It was a little cloudy earlier, but it's seeming to burn off. And it's all good. And I'm trying... Don't you hate when you get those throat bubbles? And I'm doing some standing upage today. Just because I wanted to. I've been sitting all day. I've been on calls and I've been writing things and I've been scribbling ideas and took a little break to eat some lunch and play a game with William and been sitting. So I'm like, I need to get up and stretch my legs. So, okay, there it is. Great. Okay. So today we are going to talk about explainer videos and why they are useful and how to use them in the right way that doesn't put your audience to sleep but gets them excited to buy the thing. Okay, so that is what we're going to talk about. I have a couple examples to show you and I'm super excited for this one, so let's jump in. All right, how's everybody doing today? Garrett and Hans, awesome to see you guys on. I wanted to just take a second before I dive in and give a shout out to Fiona Nichols, or Nickel. I just probably said your last name wrong. I'm sorry. But she started this morning. She's over in Switzerland, and this morning in Switzerland, she started and was watching all the videos that I've been publishing. And she was commenting and stuff, and she sent me her funnel to look at. So I took a little bit of a look at it earlier, and Fiona, I am going to do a little video to send just to you with some thoughts and ideas, and then we can kind of go from there, and maybe we can have it be a feature here on the broadcast. So thank you so much for watching, Fiona. You are awesome, and I can already tell you one thing. I know that you're super self-conscious and worried about being on camera and not having energy or feeling awkward and being afraid of it as well. I can tell you from the two videos in the funnel, you are good in front of the camera. You look good. Your performance is decent. It'll get better as you get more comfortable, and that will just come with practice. And I will give you guidance and tips and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So I just wanted to give her a shout out, everybody. She is awesome. She's working really hard and just really making strides. Hans, what's up, dude? Thanks for the comment. So today, again, we are talking about explainer videos and how to use them the right way. When to, we'll talk a little bit about when necessitates an explainer video, where it could fit into your business, and then how to do it. I have some examples of some really, really bad ones and some examples of some good ones. So you can kind of see the contrast of the journey that they bring the audience on. Again, all we're talking about in all of this series is about stories and videos and how they lead your customers on a journey to become paying clients, right? It's all about maximizing our sales, our revenue, and getting people engaged. And storytelling and video, there's a very direct connection, and that's what this whole thing is talking about. So today we're focusing on explainer videos. What's up, Wendy? How the heck are you? So awesome to see you. Colleen, thanks for hopping on. Just a quick note to Colleen. I saw your thing. After I get done with this, I'm going to do a little video just for you about what we were talking about earlier. Okay? So thank you for your patience. I apologize. I got a little bit crazy there. But so with explainer videos, what is an explainer video? What is the purpose of an explainer video? First off, an explainer video is something when you have, especially a new product, a new idea. You think of Kickstarter videos, it's something that explains what the new product or service or widget or whatever it is, tells you, hey, this is the thing. Do you have this problem? This thing fixes it. And here's a little bit of the process, right? Now, when it comes to explainer videos especially too, it is a big stumbling block for people because You think when it comes to explaining that you need to give every minute detail and technical aspect about every little part of the project or the thing or the program or whatever. And when that happens, people get overwhelmed, they get bored, they fall asleep, they disengage, and then they don't buy. Okay? So, explainer videos are a perfect way to introduce complete strangers, cold traffic, people who have no idea who you are, to you, into your business, into your thing. So you think of, like for me, I don't have an explainer video yet. I am in the process of writing. I had a lightning bolt strike, caught lightning in a bottle, and I'm writing out a viral, like Harmon Brothers style humor, kind of explainer video about what I do with storytelling and who I am and stuff like that. But it's just a great introduction to bring people into your world, to be introduced to your way of thinking, to your products, to your services. Cold traffic is who this works great. It takes complete cold bystanders and gets them indoctrinated and educated on what you do. Does that make sense? Who here of the people that are watching right now, have any of you used an explainer video or created one for your business? I would just there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious to know if anyone in here has done one of those. Val, what's up? Good to see you. And Michelle as well. So, if you haven't, that's totally fine. It doesn't always work for every type of business. But there is a definite use, like e-com or, you see it used a lot in when like a new product or service, like a service that helps you cut through all of your files on hard drives or stuff like that. It explains the process of how the thing works. Now, when you Wendy has done one. Wendy, that is awesome. And Hans says he's actually needing to do it right now. How timely. And then only when people ask about it, about a class I have. Okay. So, when you start to think about your explainer video, what is the end result? I always talk about begin with the end in mind. That's like my mantra. What is you want your audience to feel, think, or do at the end of the story? So if you're thinking specifically about explainer videos, what are those three things? You want them to feel that what? What do you want them to think about? What mental things you want going on? And then what action do you want them to take? Are you wanting them to buy your thing or do a Kickstarter backer thing? Or, what is it that you want them to do? Then that helps you figure out how to guide them on the journey to accomplish those things. Now, earlier this week, I was talking about MIG soap and their products. And I use them. I have them in my house, and it was a great story about how they use product descriptions to sell their stuff. And it's not just like, this great beeswax based stuff will help you breathe good, right? There's stories that really make these things great. You need to have stories in your explainer videos. Now, what do I mean by stories? Are you going to start an explainer video? Like, let's use my Friendly Giant Films video, the one where I talk about going to see Star Wars with my grandma. That is not an explainer video, right? That is not how you should start something where you talk about, one of my fondest memories was going to the movies with my grandma, right? You don't have to go on some crazy personal journey. You just have to take the product or service and talk about the story of how it became a reality, the things that were going on in the world that caused the problem to be solved or be created to solve, and then how it works for the people who are looking for it. Okay, and that is like using examples and stuff. So like last night, yesterday I was talking about storytelling in webinars, right? And you think of, I don't know if those of you who were watching it, if you noticed, I kept saying it's kind of like. I kept using these kind of like statements that Russell Brunson teaches in his book Expert Secrets, that I've been studying and building out a webinar product, but then also my own webinar. So I was trying it out, but when you describe the features and the things and how everything works, these kind of like statements are huge in being able to get people to understand what it really does without getting lost in all of the technical aspects, the techno babble, right? Nikel, you're so very welcome. I think I said Michelle earlier. I have bad eyesight and I just saw the ELLE. So Nikel, thank you. So as you build out the features and you're talking about it, you need to have that. So like a good structure for a explainer video is obviously talk about the problem. Talk about how life is for people without this thing. Okay? And then introduce blah, 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 right? And then you talk about the features and the parts and the things that make it work. And then you tell them this is where you go to support it, to follow it, to buy it, to whatever, right? So you start with a little bit of a story about how things are in people's lives, in the general public's lives without this thing. You kind of paint that picture, the parody. Then you introduce this new thing, like, how would it be to have this? Introducing blah, right? And you don't have to say introducing, but you introduce the thing. And then from there, you talk about the features and everything, but in a way similar to what MIG Soap does with their products. They don't just say, this has got beeswax and this essential oil and that essential oil, and it's super great, all this kind of stuff. No, like they have a part where things are mentioned in the description, but they say, imagine being able to not have to listen to your kids sniffle through their ABCs anymore. Being able to get relief when you can't breathe, when you have sinus pain, all this kind of stuff. And not only will you get relief, but if you use it every day, I'm going to put some on, right? If you use it every day, it can stave off, shorten, or completely eliminate the common cold, right? That's so they tell a little bit of a story. And I'm paraphrasing what they were talking about, right? And so you wrap up those features in things. Instead, if you go, here's a product. This is a golf grip trainer, right? You slide it on your grip on your golf club and you put it on. It helps you kind of work on your grip. I haven't got to go swing my clubs or anything to try it out yet, but I bought it, right? So if you were trying to explain this, it's like, this golf grip will help you hold your golf club properly so that your slices and your straw can help you get better at that. Because of the perfectly ergonomical developed thing, makes your hands get all weird, and it puts them in the right place so that when you swing the club, your hands will be in a good spot. Do you see how boring that is? Yes, that's what this thing does. But imagine framing it this way. This amazing golf grip was designed to help eliminate the slice so you can enjoy the game instead of getting mad and snapping your club over your knee, throwing it into the water, and storming off mad. You'll save hundreds of dollars in broken clubs and tons of frustration and stress, and add years to your life by not being angry playing golf, because this thing will help you and you kind of go into the science of how or why and all that kind of stuff you went into it. But do you see the difference by having a story where you hit on the emotions and the things of the people that are wanting or looking or seeing this product? When you paint it that way, it's so much more engaging. People are going to learn more about it and be more apt to take action and buy the thing. Like this thing was like $12 or something. I bought one for me and one for my brother-in-law, right? Because we want to try and we want to start golfing a lot this summer, right? So when you talk about features and things like that, you need to be creative in that way, okay? So Nikel, would this work as a post as well? So you can use the framework for any type of thing, whether it's a post or it's copy on a funnel or it's a video or podcast type of stuff. The structure works for any type of story. I'm just specifically talking about an explainer video. And I'll show you some examples here in just a second. We're going to go through and watch some good ones and some bad ones. We'll watch the bad ones first because we always want to end on a good note, right? But of examples of what not to do and then how to do it in the right way. So first off, I'm going to grab a drink. Is this making sense? Am I speaking your language? Am I going too fast? Is there anything that you have a question about really quick? While I grab a drink, give me some hearts, likes, and comments, and then I'll look at those and we'll go from there. So, Hans says total sense. Awesome. Appreciate it. I'm just making sure, looking what's on the phone as well. So, with that said, I want to show you an example here. First of all, like before I jump into this, just a little plug here, not for you to buy anything, but like if this stuff is valuable and useful to you, please share it with your audiences and stuff as well, because I want you guys to learn and apply and put this stuff to work. But I also want your friends and your other entrepreneurial friends and contacts and business owners and things like that to be able to put this stuff to work as well. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to talk about, this first one, what is it called? Job Search Ninja. This is an explainer video, and honestly, I'm going to do this techno boom first, because this Job Search Ninja is like so bad. So we'll warm you up with a bad one, and then we'll go to like a really, really bad one. So this one is called Techno Boom. Are you ready? Here we go with Techno Boom's explainer video.
Imagine you're a tree, a tall, majestic oak, a symbol of all that's good and beautiful in the world. Shit, that's not me. I'm not a symbol for anything. I live here in the 21st century. I have shit to do. I need the right tools right now. And I'm not looking for any tree to give me advice. SonicBox, huh? Consider this my wake-up call? What? SonicBox. Grab files from the web and send at blazing speeds, sonic speeds, to your SonicBox. No time wasted on download and upload. No need for hard drive space. Just blast images, videos, and audio files to your SonicBox. Kick-ass practical. A friend just uploaded his bachelor party video and sent me the URL. But hey, I'm a busy guy, so I just take the URL and drop it in my SonicBox. Can't wait to watch it in my box later. SonicBox is a superior cloud-based download management and storage tool. Use it to stream, decompress, create playlists, share, and download. Use it anywhere there's an internet connection. It's insanely easy to use and totally customizable. Loads of high-end file manager type stuff. And you can lose your computer in the forest or anywhere for that matter, and know that with SonicBox all your files are safe, secure, and completely backed up. Blazing speed, killer functionality, all in the box. SonicBox.com. Sign up for free today.
Okay, so first off, that wasn't like the worst, like in some of the messaging. It's just really poorly done. Like it starts off, imagine you're an oak tree, like a symbol of everything. I don't even remember what he said, but like he's like, imagine you're an oak tree, and tries to go into this story, and it has absolutely zero connection to the product or anything else that's said in the rest of the video. So they started off very awkwardly. I say he because it was a male narrator, right? And it's just awkward to start. And then the even though it was silent, it's like the cursing at it just seemed so out of place, and forced a little bit, right? Did you see that just right in the first? That was the first like 10 seconds, right? How many people do you think watched through the whole thing versus got turned off? Were you intrigued by that first 10 seconds, or were you just like, oh, you're just watching it because it's on the screen and you're waiting to hear my commentary, right? It was very confusing in the beginning. Yes, you confuse, you lose, right? And so it was put out, and they were trying to be humorous and things like that, but it didn't land, right? And then they go into talking about what the service is, and it's like a file sharing quick upload where you can send files back and forth and download and all this kind of stuff. That regardless of where you go, it works. But then they use like this example of a friend's bachelor party video. Like, it's just odd, right? So if you think and you watch the journey that takes us as the audience on, we learn. If we made it that far, we learn how it works. You get a thing, you drag your link and put it in the box, and then you can get it anywhere else or any other time that you want it, wherever you're in the world, right? And just the execution of it was just very odd, and it was very specific as to what, are you very driven on the features, not about the benefits to people, right? And when it comes to selling stuff, especially through stories and videos, and you can show the benefits to the people, those are the things people buy. Features, yes, people will think about those kinds of things, but if you can sell the benefits, there were no benefits really talked about. You know, if they could have framed it a little bit different, be like, you know, talking about how all of your buddies from college got together for one last hurrah before your friend one of them got married, and all this kind of stuff, and how everyone was taking pictures and stuff of all the fun stuff that they were doing, and they were able to all collect it into this box where they could all put it together or consume it and share it and keep those keepsakes. And so one of the guys took all the stuff and made a cool video that, you know, like, you talk about the journey and how those things work, and you know, they all went to the wedding, and then they all left. I'm just using the wedding, and a bunch of dudes like they used in the example, but you know, talk about family reunions, people that get together, they are sharing all this stuff instead of like having to email 700 pictures and be like, crap, I'm over the size limit, I've got to break it all up, blah 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 blah, and stuff. Talk about how easy it was when they sat around at the end of the day and they all dropped these things into their box, and everyone was sharing, and oh yeah, and like Uncle Larry created this cool video and dropped it in, and everyone had it as they went back home all across the world, and they had those cherished memories forever, right? You talk about, you lead them on that journey, but tell them how it works, but the benefits and how it impacts and is good for their family in the long run, right? So that's one example of a bad one. Now this next one is really, really bad. And it is called Job Search Ninja. Okay, you guys ready? Let's watch this one.
6 months ago, Joe Smith disappeared without a trace. He had lost all confidence in himself after 10 failed job interviews. His family and friends feared the worst. One day, Joe Smith returned with special superpowers. He is now the Job Search Ninja.
In this episode of the Job Search Ninja, we follow Ima Lookin in her quest to find a new job. Will she succeed? Will the Job Search Ninja come to her rescue?
If you would like to learn the skills of the Job Search Ninja, attend one of our super-powered seminars. Visit us at www.integritycareertransitions.com.
Okay. Did you, like, I'm throwing up Cassie's thing. It's like watching a train wreck. What did you notice from that explainer video? Let's hear it. Like, look in the comments. I'm going to get a drink. Tell me what you think of the journey that we, the audience, went on in that. Did that explainer video accomplish what it's called action at the end was? This ad is unreal. It's absolutely true. So, think of it. It starts off with Joe Smith, and he was dejected because he had failed a bunch of job interviews, and he disappeared, and his family feared for the worst and stuff. And then one day, he magically returned as a job search ninja. So, the whole job search thing is something that just got created out of thin air, right? Arturo wanted to shut it off within 10 seconds, exactly. But then what happened? So it says, in this episode of the Job Search Ninja, we follow, I can't remember what the name of the character was. That's how, and I've watched that like 5 times because I wanted to know how it went as we talked through it, right? But it was just like so disengaging and made no sense. And there was silence. It was music. There was no dialogue. We see this lady going on interviews, and we're having to read out of focus, crappy subtitle text like a comic book that's too fast to read the whole thing and is fuzzy because it's not great quality, right? So it was just terrible. It didn't explain anything. And then it shows like the Job Search Ninja comes and they go to Job Search Mountain, and then all of a sudden she's a ninja. It didn't show anything of the process on how they coach and train people to be looking for jobs, to be able to landing and nailing interviews and getting the job. Nothing at all. And it's like, if you want to learn, come to one of our awesome seminars, right? It's like nobody is signing up for that, right? It was really bad. So you see in both of those examples, what was the other one? The tech boom. They explain features, but that's really all. They don't talk about any of the benefits really, and don't connect us to the product or service on a personal or human level. It's just like they throw in some weird swearing that was bleeped out or silenced out, but it just was out of place. They tried some humor. They tried to start with a story that had absolutely no connection to anything else in the rest of the video, and they talked about features. This other one tried to tell a story, but they didn't tell it well. Like, even if they added dialogue and we could hear all the stuff and they talked, they didn't throw any of the features or how the system works and why it's important and why it's great for getting people jobs. It doesn't say anything about that, but that's what it's geared towards. Like, it's just terrible. It didn't show how to do it. So you can see why neither of those, and I don't have stats to see like how well those companies are doing or if they're even around anymore. By the look of the animation, those are both older and probably not around anymore, right? But they just don't do anything to connect us and lead us on a journey that makes us want to take action at the end, right? Would we all agree? Give me some hearts and laughing faces and thumbs up if you see that, okay? Let's see it, okay? Now, with that said, now I want to share, I have three examples of great companies and explainer videos. And so we're going to watch this first one, and I want you to notice the difference. I want you to pay attention and look for what journey does it take us, the viewer, on in these. And these are short. Like, one of them is, I think the two of them are like 1 minute long, maybe just a little bit over a minute. The last one we're going to show is a little bit longer. It kind of shows you that you can do these explainer videos quick and they can have results. You don't have to spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes going through and talking about all of this stuff. you can get the point across very quickly. Like one of the first videos I did in this series was about the use of short stories and how powerful they are. Short stories and short videos, how they're consumed all day, every day. Longer ones do get consumed all day, every day, but it's just different. You can get people to go on a journey, connect with the brand, become interested enough to click the next thing or download the app or buy the product or back it or whatever it is. You don't have to go so crazy deep into things, okay? So this first one is for a company called Unroll Me, and it is all about unsubscribing from emails. How many of you get, I get tons of spam type of emails a day. This is a program, a service to unsubscribe you from things that you don't want to receive anymore. So pay attention for these things in the video. What journey does it take us on? How much do they spend talking about the features? How much time do they spend talking or showing the benefits? And does it make you want to take action at the end? Okay, so here we go.
I mean, we're talking probably 10,000 emails.
Oh God, do I open it?
When you try and unsubscribe from something, it's like this maze.
What I need is more time.
I feel like I'm drowning in it.
Unsubscribe, unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe, unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe, see ya.
Unsubscribe. Yeah, let's keep that.
It's kind of fun. It's like a game.
Oh, man, this is cool. This makes it really easy.
It's just that easy? Come on.
Okay, so that is Unroll Me. Now, look at that. Like, that was, how long was that video? Oh, crud, I brought it down. 1 second, let me. It's like a minute and 2 seconds long, okay? That, and it could be shortened. Like the start was a little bit slow. Like it was a repetitive. Like it showed all these people looking at their phones and being frustrated. And then it says email doesn't have to suck. And then it shows more people, the same people like looking at their phones again. They could have like made that even tighter, right? But you see it says email doesn't have to suck. It shows the people, all of us understand that fear or the pain of having to unsubscribe or getting spam email, and just like when you do go to unsubscribe, it's like a huge thing to get it done. You have to click here, you have to like sometimes type in a reason, retype in your email address. You have all these different steps to have to get out of doing it. So they're saying that we can do this for you, and it shows the people just swiping. It's like a game, what somebody said. This is like a game. And they go through and they're just swiping and getting rid of stuff, saying you need more time. You know, you don't need to be focusing on this, but let us do the heavy lifting for you. Go and get this app and do it, right? So we see in that 60 seconds, give or take a couple seconds, right, that people are able to get that taken care of and have that taken off of their plate. It gives them more time. It frees up their inbox. They don't have all sorts of junk in there to have to worry about, right? Do you see the journey that went on? Sorry, I should have asked you what you guys saw first. I just got excited because that's a good one. It was short, high energy. It used lots of quick cuts. It showed different people, so it works for everybody. You know, right? Do you see the journey and the difference? Was there any narration in that video? There was zero narration, right? No, there was nobody like, Unroll Me is a program to be able to get off of email services that you don't want to be. Like, it doesn't say anything like that. It says a couple things in text, and you see the people just taking action and doing it, and it works. That's an explainer video, 60 seconds, with no explanation or narrator or all that kind of stuff. So it's something that you can do super easy that way, okay? Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm do you get that process? Do you get that journey? Super simple, right? Think of your business now. Think of your product and your service after seeing those crappy ones, after all the pressure and the stress that you have on trying to create a video or explain what it is that you do or what your service is. Do you see how simple it can be? You don't have to tell the whole story yourself. That person, that video had other people telling the story and showing how it worked and affected them. That's another great way to tell and do an explainer video, okay? Colleen wishes they had that app for Droid. I'm sure there's an equivalent for it. Just come over to the dark side and get an iPhone. Okay, the next one is for the Dollar Shave Club. Has anybody heard of the Dollar Shave Club? If you have, hit that, like, not just once, but just like hit those thumbs up and hearts, okay? If you've heard of the Dollar Shave Club. I obviously haven't because I've got this going on, right? Just kidding. Of course I've heard of it. Everyone's heard of the Dollar Shave Club, and they have grown to be this huge thing. And this video that I'm about to show you is, again, right around a minute long. A little bit longer than a minute, I think. And in that minute, this video set the tone for lots of imposters and other things. The Dollar Beard Club, and there's a commercial that I worked on for. It was called the Dollar Maxi Pad Club. I worked on that commercial. I was in that commercial. I have my wife is getting some video of me. I asked her to, and I totally looked at the camera, so I had to break the fourth wall and wave at her. Now she's laughing and embarrassed for some reason. So. Don't you love live stuff? A little good behind the scene, good behind the scenes stuff. So you can see in this one, again, it's a short example and it is effective, but look at the journey, and then I'll ask you guys, I won't just nerd out immediately and start going after it. Be ready to comment as soon as it's done, what you saw, what was working, what was good about it, and why you think that Dollar Shave Club is like a multi-million-dollar business now. This is the reason, one of the main reasons, okay? So here we go with Dollar Shave Club.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
Okay, so that one's like a minute and 35 seconds long, right? So tell me what you saw in that explainer video that works. Go in the comments right now. I'll wait. I'll wait. Comment. Tell me what you see. We're gonna stand here and stare awkwardly at each other. Come on, guys. Are you learning here? Okay, so your guys are being shy. I don't know what your deal is. We've got 7 of you watching live right now. Somebody's had to have an opinion. But do you see what happened in that minute and 35 seconds? We laughed. If you didn't chuckle at least, then you are a robot or something. Or you've watched that a million times and you know all the jokes. We see humor. They explain why it works and why it's so good, right? And why this service is needed. And, you know, you don't need a a shaver with a vibrating handle and flashlight and 10 blades and a satellite dish and all that kind of stuff. It pokes fun and throws rocks at the current system and saying, like, you don't have to spend so much money on all this thing was like 17 blades. Your old grandpa was handsome and used one, right? And had polio, right? If you go back and watch that or find it, this is just, I noticed this kind of stuff in movies, or in productions, like when it pulls off, when it shows the grandpa's picture, the forklift driver went a little bit too fast and the guy had to grab, or else he would have fallen off the forks. He was like, it was really brief, but pretty funny. So, comedy. Han says, super funny, details that kept me engaged, not expected. The freaking machete, haha, exactly. Brief explanation. So we know what the thing was going to do. We learned that, and it's not like it was a brand new thing. It's just a new process where you say once a month you'll get a shipment and it's $1 and it'll go and it has these things. It has blades and a lubricating strip and all this kind of stuff. But it talks about things, and then it says, not only are we doing this, but hey kid, what were you doing last month? He's like, not working. And he's like, what are you doing now? Working, right? It's showing that they are stimulating the economy as well. So by saving you money, by you giving a little bit, you're employing people and you're saving money, and you're going to stack up all the money, all the dollars that you're saving, right? Do you see the journey that we're going on? And that is a multi-million-dollar company now that grew, and that video went viral and sparked lots of copycats, right? So you see that in that explanation, we have a perfect understanding of what the company does, who they are, what they do, and where we can go to participate. And when somebody is laughing repeatedly and gets the humor and all that kind of stuff, they have those good positive feelings with your brand. Every time they see anything or mention of Dollar Shave Club, that comes to mind. They remember it, even if they're not a client like me. I know Dollar Shave Club, and it makes me laugh and chuckle at the way that they do their ads, right? So that is, a great way to briefly, those two are great examples of ways to quickly explain who you are and what you do, and the benefits of everything that your thing does. Like, not only do you get to shave and look good and everything, you're stimulating the economy, you're saving money, all those things. You see how they hit all of those points. That's the type of journey you need to take your audience on as they come into your world with your stuff. Whether you go out and make a complete explainer video like we've been talking about, or you use these principles again and apply them into your webinar or into your Facebook Lives or into a podcast episode or Instagram stories. The journey is the same. You take somebody from curious, maybe doesn't know anything about you, to knows a lot about you, to giving you their credit card information at the end of interacting with you, okay? That's the journey that all of these stories are meant to take people on. Like, I've talked so much, I spent the last year talking about how stories connect and build rapport and connection and all that kind of stuff. That happens now. It's time to shift to making money with our stories and our connections, okay? Colleen, phew, lost internet connection. Oh no, welcome back. Okay, this last example that I'm going to show you is for a company. And this video is a little bit longer. It's 4 minutes long or something like that. So it's still not super long. But this takes us on a journey where we get lots of stories, but lots of information. We get talked a lot of the features of this product and how this system works. But then we also, it really hits hard on the benefits and how it helps people. So I'm going to keep score as well. During this one, listen and pay attention. If you have your notebook and a pencil or a pen or something, keep track and put a little tick down on the paper every time a different type of story or something is told, okay? Whether that's about a feature or a benefit or whatever, okay? Let's just see if we can keep track how many stories there are in this video. So this last one is for a company called Prove It. If you've heard, they do supplements and it's all about ketosis. So this explainer video talks about what ketosis is, which is just like, but this is a great example, okay? So are you ready? Are you ready? Who's ready? Give me the hearts. Give me the likes. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see it. I'm a dork. So, let me pull this up. Here we go. Prove It's video about ketosis. Count how many stories you catch in this.
Have you ever built a campfire before? If so, did you know that by building that fire, you've actually unlocked the power for unlimited energy, fat loss, and focus? Let me explain. When you build a campfire, there are 3 types of fuel that you can use: kindling, logs, and coal. Now, the kindling is the easiest to catch on fire. It burns fast, and if you're not careful, it'll be gone before the larger logs even catch on fire. The logs take a little bit longer to catch on fire, but if you're able to burn them correctly, eventually they will catch the coals on fire and give you a nice long heat that'll keep you warm throughout the night. So how does knowing that give you unlimited energy, fat loss, and focus? Well, did you know that there are also 3 types of fuel that run your body? Carbs, proteins, and fats, and each one works differently inside of you. The first is carbs. Yes, we love them, and yes, we crave them, and as soon as we start to eat them, we get an instant burst of energy, but unfortunately, it doesn't last long, and we're left with a crash and a constant craving for more. And next, we shift to the proteins, the building blocks for our muscles, but also they can actually be the barrier that keeps us from losing fat. And then there is the last and the best source of fuel. We call this source fat. And like the coal, if you can catch it on fire, it'll give you the longest and the best source of energy. But for most people, it's almost impossible to get to a state where they can actually burn fat. Now, this is a state we call ketosis. So why is it so hard? Well, it starts with the kindling, or the carbs. We eat some, but they quickly burn off, causing our energy to drop and giving us cravings for more. We can keep throwing these sticks on the fire, but they will burn fast and never give us the consistent warmth or energy that we need. When you start to add proteins to this fire, your body can burn these logs as fuel a little bit longer, yet it still doesn't compare to what happens when you get your body to a state where it can actually burn fat. So why do we want to burn fats? Well, a few reasons. Common sense says that burning fats, well, it helps us lose fat, and he's right. But on top of that, when you get to a state where you're burning pure fats, they release ketones into your body. And these little ketones are like thousands of little motivational speakers running through your body. They give you energy, they give you focus, they make you feel incredible, and yes, they make the fat melt off your body because it's finally being burned off. It's no longer being guarded by the carbs and the proteins. So if getting through the carbs and the proteins and into the fats is so important, then why are we doing it each day? Well, the answer is because it's hard. To get our best fuel source and start burning fats and releasing ketones, the average person will have to work out 10 times harder and longer than they are now. They've got to burn through all of their carbs and all of their proteins, and then, and only then, will they finally hit their fat. Yet that's where the magic happens. But even for the most extreme people who have learned to biohack their own bodies to get into a state of ketosis, it can often take weeks or months to even get there. But when they are in that state, they are on. Perfect energy, perfect focus, and perfect fat loss. It's kind of like playing the game Pac-Man, where most of the game you spend running away from the ghost, but every once in a while, Pac-Man will eat one of those power pellets and everything suddenly changes. Instead of running away from the ghost, you're on fire and you start actually chasing the ghost, and the game becomes yours for the taking. That's how it feels when you're in ketosis. Life literally becomes yours for the taking. It's sad, but most people spend their whole life like Pac-Man at the beginning of the game, trying to stay safe and secure, not even knowing that the power pellets exist, not knowing what it's like to be on. Now, as I'm sure you can tell, having these ketones in your blood is the goal. But how do we get there without spending weeks or months biohacking our way into ketosis? Well, that's a question we asked ourselves a few years ago. And at first, it seemed like an impossible question. But recently, some scientists we work with have stumbled upon a new formula that actually made it possible. We call this new formula the Ketone Operating System, or Keto OS for short. Within just 60 minutes of taking it, your body almost instantly goes into ketosis. Check out how this works. Before Keto OS, they're not in ketosis. Within less than 60 minutes after taking Keto OS, your body is in nutritional ketosis. Isn't that awesome?
But don't just take our word for it. Get your Keto OS today.
And do the test and prove it to yourself. After you do, you'll discover a few things. First, Keto OS is the best tasting health drink that you've ever had. Second, you'll see your body almost instantly go into nutritional ketosis. And third, you'll almost instantly feel what world-class athletes and biohackers spend weeks trying to accomplish. Your body will be in nutritional ketosis, and you'll get all the benefits that come with that. Increased fat loss, more mental clarity and focus, tons of extra energy. So do you want to experience what it feels like to be in ketosis?
If so, get your Keto OS today and find out what it feels like to unlock your energy, fat loss, and focus.
All right. So here's the question. How many little stories and things did you catch in that video? There were a bunch. So in the comments, I want you to guess. What's the number of stories that you heard in there? I was keeping tally. And if whoever's the closest to mine, I will give them a personal shout out video in the next live. I don't know. I'll come up with something cool for you if you're the closest. So in the next 10 seconds, comment the number of stories that you think were shared. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I know that I may have missed some. So here is how many I counted. 35. I counted 35 different story pieces in there. 35, and that was like 4.5 minutes. Okay? So let's see the comments coming in. There's 11 from Arturo. Lance says 3. Colleen 8. Hans 9. Okay? Looks like Arturo is the closest with 11. So, I counted 35. Go back and watch that again. So, here are the little things that I noticed, okay? And again, like a story doesn't have to be, that was 4 minutes. And I counted 35 different things that told a story, okay? And a lot of these stories were just like 2 or 3 seconds even, really. Like, they can be super short, okay? So it was just talking about like, it talked about a campfire. And then we talked about kindling. Then it talked about logs. Then it talked about coals. Then it talked about our bodies. And then it talked about carbs. Then it talked about proteins. Then it talked about fats, right? Each one of those had stories and taught us a little bit about it. Then what is this ketosis? And then, we learned about ketosis and how it works. Then there's like the thousands of motivational speakers portion. There's the Pac-Man story. There's getting into nutritional ketosis, all this kind of stuff, right? So you see all of that stuff. And then it talks about like, in order to get into ketosis, you have to burn all of your fats and then all of your proteins or all of your sugar, carbs, all of your proteins in order to get to your fats to get to ketosis. And people have biohacked and spent years of their life trying to perfect and get into that. But this thing will, by taking it will do this. And then it goes into feature type of stuff. It's the best tasting, right? All of these features of what it does. You see the journey that it brings us on. You take something boring and super like ketosis. Like people are gonna be like, it's like almost like a 4-letter word now. It's so used so much. Everyone's on the keto diet, right? But like, it takes something that's really not that interesting, and there's a lot of science behind it, but they framed it and put it and took us on a journey to explain. Remember at the beginning I talked about these kind of likes? This is a perfect example of kind of likes, right? It talks about how the carbs in our body are kind of like kindling in a campfire. The proteins in our body are kind of like logs in a campfire. And the fats in our body are kind of like coals, putting coal in a fire, right? You see how they build the parallels? They take the techno stuff and they make it relatable and easy to understand. Now that, like somebody, Hans was saying, like, is that Russell Brunson's voiceover? Yes, that was. This is a company that he was involved in the launch of and everything like that. And it was because they were struggling, and because they were getting in the techno babble, right, and talking about ketosis will help you burn fat, blah, 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 like all that stuff that you just go, glaze over, switch, click, right? And just by telling and framing what they do in this way, in this explainer video, they are a $500 million company, $500 million a year company selling this type of stuff. They have tons of different products, but the basis is all the same, goes back to these principles, right? This is on their, like on the landing page on proveitnow.com or something like that, I think is what it's called. I'm trying to remember. But do you see, and again, that was longer based on the examples that we watched today. That was 4.5 minutes. But still, in that 4.5 minutes, they converted people. Like, how many of you were like, maybe I should pick some of that up and try it out? Why not, right? It's just something that you drink. I don't have to do anything else different, right? It got your curiosity, and people, they make $500 million a year selling this stuff. Do you see how that story and wrapping everything up in the story sells more stuff? Does that make sense? Can I get an amen? Can I get a whole bunch of emojis and hearts and likes and all that kind of stuff? Let's see this. Come on. Do you see how that takes people on the journey and sells some more stuff? Now think of your business, your products or services, and this framework of an explainer video. You can introduce yourself and your service to complete cold traffic. That's what explainer videos are really great for, is cold traffic, or people who are curious about a certain topic, and that's how they found you in the first place. But a lot of people that see explainer videos are totally new to the idea. So think of people who don't know, like Hans and Colleen and Lance and stuff, people who don't know what you do or who you are. An explainer video works in telling it. Lance, I saw your question. I didn't mean to ignore it about how do you do this for a service versus a product. This is a great question. So let's use you as an example. You are a plumber, and so let's use the same framework as the Prove It video. Sorry, I drew a little blank there. I'm gonna grab a drink really quick. When you introduce people, cold traffic, people who don't know you or what you do, or they're looking for a plumber but they don't know anything about Aspen Mountain Plumbing, right? You talk about, the things. What is their life like before you? Not before plumbers, but before you, right? What is their life like? They have this problem happen or whatever, and they stress out and they freak out and they don't know what to do and all that kind of stuff. You come in and fix the problem, right? So an explainer video can talk about how your process works and how you approach plumbing, why you got into it, and how you've helped so many people. Like going to the example of the Unroll Me a little bit, that email unsubscription thing. You've been doing this, you've been collecting these, like little mini testimonials from people. Have other people talk about, like, man, before Lance, we had this big thing and he came in and he saved the day, right? It's just something that briefly introduces people to you, who you are, and what you do, and then talks about the features and the benefits of working with you, and then gives a call to action, book a consultation, call us now, do this, whatever it might be that you want them to do at the end of it. You can do that for a product, a widget, a service, and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? Where do you post the explainers? This is a good question as well. So let's say you created one. Where do you put them? If you have a Facebook page, that's a great place. If you have a funnel or your landing page, your front page of your website, front and center. That ketosis video is on the landing page of proveitnow.com, a $500 million a year company. It's right there front and center. So people who come into it, boom. You can put it on YouTube and things like that. Use your keyword stuff to kind of get some traction there. Break it down into smaller pieces and do Instagram stories where you can post it. And like I was talking about when I did my Instagram stories or my short video and story episode last week, like I took a 4-minute video. I think it was a 4-minute video, 3-minute video that I did for a local healthcare company. And I was able to condense it into 2 or 3 separate 15-second chunks to tell the story, to get interest, right? So you can put it everywhere. But if you're going to only focus on 1 or 2 on your Facebook page, it could be like your video, your header, or what's it called? I can't remember. Not your profile video, but the thing. I'll look at that, and I can't remember the name. And so I would do it there and on your website, your funnel, your home page. The first place that people come to meet you. At least until you build something else out, like if you do a whole big origin story video that's a little bit more. But an explainer video can be really, really quick, gets people's attention, and gets them to take action and book a call or do whatever, or buy the thing, or put you in their Rolodex, or whatever it is, or opt in for this little guide on how to, some preventative maintenance stuff that they can do. And that way you capture their email and you can market to them over and over again, right? So that is where I would put explainers if I had to start. This on my Facebook page and on my website page. Okay? So with that said, you see that the journey that we lead our clients and our customers on is to take them from, whether they're tire kickers or they know a little bit about us, or they're looking for somebody in the service but they don't know you specifically. It introduces them to you, shows what you do, and gives them the benefits and talks about what they can expect from working with you or for getting the thing. Whether it's your coaching service or your plumbing business or your golf grip trainer like I was talking about earlier, or your dry erase markers, or whatever it might be, or your course on how to make all sorts of friends in the world, right? This is how you can do it in a very brief amount of time and a very effective amount of time. Don't be like the job search ninja like we watched earlier. If you missed that, go back and watch it if you want to see epic, terrible explainer video example. Okay? So with that said, it's simple, but if you get stuck, I'm here to help. Okay? So just remember that stories are the way to just boost everything in your business. When you wrap your products, your services, yourself in stories, it takes people on the journey that makes them complete strangers to paying clients, and you can do it in as little as 60 seconds, as we saw in some of these examples that we went through today. Okay? So get out there, start writing up an explainer video. Like, go through some of the structures, an introduction to what the world is like without you in it, or without you in their life or your thing. What is life like? Introduce the thing, talk about the benefits and how it enriches and improves their life, and then you can pepper in the other parts of it to the not benefits, my brain's turning off. But see, you do that and good things will happen, and it will really start to take off for you. You can do it in a super short amount of time. Okay? So, with that said, go out and do it. Share with me. If you get stuck, let me know. We can shop through any of this stuff when you have questions. And I'd love to feature some of you guys, the work that you guys are doing. But you got to share it. You got to put it out there. Lance is doing an awesome job of this. And it's working. And he's starting to see, that wasn't as scary as I thought. He asks me for questions, or asks me some questions for feedback or guidance. I give it to him. He goes and he does it. It's amazing to watch. He implements. Are you guys implementing? And if you get stuck and need a kick in the butt, or you need some one-on-one time where we sit down and like really flesh through it, where I coach you and ask you all the right questions and guide you on the journey, we can do that as well. But you got to start somewhere, because all it takes is one story to change your life, your business, and your whole world. Like that Dollar Shave Club video, that one thing changed their whole business super fast. and they've grown. It can happen for you too. It just takes one story. We'll see you on the next one, guys.